Hey, you guys, how are you? Oh, I almost just fell off my chair. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Awesome. I see. What about you? Excellent. Excellent. So let's dive right in here. So first things first, the literature peer review is coming up, right? I have to email you your peer reviews. You will get those in your GTC email after class today. You have a week to do them, so it's not like this is um, putting a huge dent in the amount of time that you have. So, what we'll be doing is in the email that I send out, there will be a video that discusses, excuse me, that discusses peer review and how to accomplish it for this class, because this peer review might be a little bit more intensive than ones that you've used in the past. Um, we also, what else did I want to say about this? You'll also get in that email, you'll get your essay as well as two essays from peers. Okay. Um, and so what you'll do is just kind of ignore your essay for now and peer review the essays from your two group members, I guess. And you'll follow the directions in the video, and I'll also send out. I believe I have a PowerPoint to also send out to you guys, so you can follow along as well. And that should make it nice and easy for you. Okay, peer review is another one of those things that are um, kind of undervalued in terms of classes, right? I know whenever I used to get a peer review, I'd be like, oh no, these are so stupid, and I would just grumble the whole time. And realize that that's kind of the difference between a teacher's perspective and a student's perspective on peer review, because you can actually learn a lot about an assignment, correct any sort of misunderstandings that you have and things like that, when you're seeing it in someone else's work. And then you can take those new realizations and new skills and bring it back to your own as you're revising. All right, so that is a pretty big deal. Okay, after the peer review, what you'll have is another week to complete your final draft for the literature review. And what you'll use is my comments, which you'll get back by the peer review deadline date, and also the comments from your peers to kind of make some adjustments, make some revisions, make some changes to strengthen your essay. All right. Keep in mind that in the beginning of the term, I had said to you guys that I have a substantial revision policy, which indicates that you need to revise between your draft and your final draft. No problem, Bryson. Glad you're able to make it. So there needs to be substantial revision. Now, of course, that substantial revision is dependent on your grade. What is substantial for a paper that received an A is nowhere near what is needed for a paper that maybe scraped by with a low C, right? There's a lot more changes that need to be made to that low C to get it up to the level that you need it to be, as compared to the changes that you need to make to an A paper to kind of maintain but still revise. All right, so just keep that in mind as you're working through the next couple of weeks of assignments. I'll probably also talk about substantial revision next week as well, because I really want to make sure that we're all on the same page and that no one loses points. Because if you don't complete substantial revision, if you turn in something that only has a few words here and there, you'll actually earn 10% less than the grade that you earned on your draft, right? And no one wants that. Everyone wants to improve. Okay, I want to open it up to you guys. You submitted your essays last night. Any questions that you have about it?
Not really, I'm just, after I got done with the literature review essay, I'm just ready to move on and get the last one done.
We're almost there. We're almost there. We've got,
Yeah.
I think, 5 weeks left of the course, so we are about to start rolling into it.
When is it? I'm sorry, since I joined a couple minutes late, you probably already talked about it. And if you don't want to bring it up again, I can just go back. But what I was gonna ask is, when is the final paper due?
The final paper of the term, or the final draft of the literature review?
Um, Well, when you say the final draft of the literature review, that's basically the exact same thing as the other paper, right?
It is with substantial revision, right? So it's your draft that you substantially revise. So there is still work to be done, right? The draft that you submitted was like the final draft, the best draft that you could create. And then you get comments from me and your partners in your peer review groups to develop it further and make sure that it's as tight as it can be. And then that's the grade that's like big in the grade book, because that's should be like the final, if that makes sense.
Okay, gotcha. And I was just gonna ask, I'm sure you're going to at some point release the dates for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the final draft of the literature review, just to kind of move through, I'm still in the process of making it make sense on Blackboard. So bear with me on that. You'll have that by probably the end of this week, I'm thinking. But the literature review final, and this is a little bit of a correction because for some reason I was thinking we had a full week, is due on Friday, the 25th of March. All right, so you still have, 4 days after the peer review to make those adjustments. And so the 25th of March is the literature review final. And then we have our spring break, which is amazing. Well, the week after, right? So from the 5th to the 10th. And then we have our literary research essay. We have the draft due right after spring break, and the final draft of that due on the 26th of April. So it's right at the last week. You have one other assignment after that, and then you will be able to kind of see that. So let me share my screen with you real quick here for anyone who is curious. Let me just which one
The
is screen
papers
one?
due.
Is this?
So the papers due the how many days after spring break?
Here, so let me just show you. So we are hanging out right here. All right. So we have our literature review peer review due on Monday. We have our literature review due on the 25th. You know what? Let me play with that for half a second. That literature review peer review is going to be due on the 22nd. And then I'm going to give you guys until the 27th to do your literature review final draft. All right, so that way we have a little bit more of a spread there. Sorry, this is like the calendar that I use with all the dates on it. So if it looks a little crazy, that's what's going on. And then as we move into April, you'll see you'll have a thesis statement for the literary research essay on the 29th, which you'll comments back before spring break. And then the literary research essay draft is due on the 12th. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 class session days, like 4 class days between the literary research essay and the draft. Make sense?
Yeah, yes it does.
Cool.
It has to be
And
six to 7 pages.